We're in my sketchbook and we're back drawing even more animals you guys have told me to. I've been doing this series where I draw animals you guys recommend, so you comment an animal and I draw it. So here we are in my sketchbook getting ready to add even more animals. Here's a look at all of the page spreads that we've done so far. You guys have commented so many different animals, ranging from hamsters to insects to whales to fake unicorn horses. And today we are going to be completing another spread in my sketchbook full of animals you've told me to draw. I love creating these animal drawings. It really helps me practice my skills, and it's also a really fun way to connect with you guys. I love hearing what animals you love and what animals you'd like to see next. This has been my favorite page spread so far. I love how the animals overlap, and you can definitely see the improvement in the animals in this page. So now it's time to complete this page spread and hopefully make it a new favorite. I'm going to be adding 9 more animals to this page and complete this page spread full of sea creatures. Like and subscribe, and let's draw animals you guys recommend. The first sea creature you guys recommended that I draw is a whale shark. Thanks to all of these comments, a lot of people wanted to see a whale shark, so I decided to start with that one. It's really big and it takes up a lot of room on the page, so I went ahead and filled it out, and I was grateful that it was already taking up a lot of room since I want to complete this spread. It was definitely a little bit hard to get the shape right. I want it to flow and look like it's swimming, so I tried really hard to get the shape right while making it look like a whale shark, but also changing it a little bit to fit the page better. One of the things about these page spreads is that not only do I want the animals to look good individually, but I want them to all look good on the page together too. So I try really hard to make them all look like they go together and overlap them a little bit. It makes the page a little more interesting and fun. Once I was done sketching everything and outlining everything, now it's time for the colors. The colors are my favorite part, but they're also the hardest part because the shading and colors really matter with the animals, especially when you want them to look like what they're supposed to. It always makes me think about details on a human, like how are human faces, like there's only eyes, mouth, nose. How do we look so different? You know, do whale sharks look at each other and think that they look different from one another, or is that just a human thing? That's a really weird thought. It's not even an original thought, though, so someone out there understands what I'm saying. But I went ahead and colored it in using a lot of different shades of blue. This is actually my first time coloring in these animals using my new set of Ohuhu markers, and I have over 300 colors now, so it was a lot easier to match the colors than it was before. I think this is going to help my animals look a little bit more realistic now that my blues aren't going to be the same 3 bright blues. It's really nice to have some diversity there. It was working before. This just makes it a little less tricky and challenging. I have to do a lot less color blending. So I just went ahead and added in a whole bunch of different colors. I approach every animal differently in how I color it in. It just depends. I think it's just vibes based. And then it was time for my favorite part, the white gel pen details and highlights. This one needed a whole bunch of spots since whale sharks are covered in beautiful spots. And then I went ahead and added in shading, and here is how our first animal of the day turned out. We've got our whale shark that you guys recommended. That's animal number 86 completed. Now let's move on to the next one. The next animal is going to be an anglerfish, thanks to these comments. I think anglerfish are really scary. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like the things that live at the bottom of the ocean. They're a little freaky for me. And it's crazy to think that there's so many more things that we don't know about under the water. I'm not afraid of the ocean. I'm not afraid to go swimming, but like I would never go diving. I would never go under the sea. You're never going to catch me getting lost underwater, okay? I'm not going to be down there with the things like this at the bottom of the ocean. So for this one, I wanted to make it look scary, and of course, I thought it would be really fitting to put it right next to Nemo and Dory, since in Finding Nemo, they encounter an anglerfish, and it's not a pretty interaction. So I felt like it would be fun to go ahead and put him in. While I was coloring this one in, I looked up a little fun fact. Apparently, they don't actually light up. It's different creatures on the top of their little headlight thing that's making it glow. That's crazy. How are they in such cahoots to attract enemy fish? Like, what do the little glowy guys get out of it? I don't understand that. Someone who knows more about this kind of stuff, explain that in the comments so everybody else can understand. But I thought it was a pretty cool fact. So then it was time to keep coloring him in. I wanted to make him scary, and the best way to do that is the little eyebrow shape. So I made sure to make that look extra angry. And then, of course, I made him glow. I added in the shadows and my favorite part, the white gel pen highlights. And here's how this one turned out. It's definitely freaky, and I would definitely not want to encounter that. Except for, like, aren't they actually really small? But anyway, time to move on to the next animal. The next animal of the day is a sea lion, thanks to all of these comments. It's fun to mix it up a little bit and to do a different shaped animal. This one has a little silly ear, which reminded me of Shrek, which I thought was funny. But I went ahead and sketched it out and then did the outline. I added in the eye, which I think made it look kind of judgmental. Like, it kind of looks like it's judging us now, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll fix that later. So then I went ahead and erased everything, and now it's time to color it in. I was excited to do a different kind of animal for this one. This is kind of like a sea puppy in my head. So it was fun to make it a little cuter. The whale shark and the anglerfish weren't as cute as I was wanting them to be. So this one was a little bit more fun to do in that sense, just because I could add a little bit of a glimmer to the eye. Where with like the whale shark, I didn't even know where the eyes were, honest, okay? I didn't know where to put them. So then I went ahead and finished coloring this one in. I added in different tones of grays and browns to make it three-dimensional, and I added in those cute little highlights to the eyes to make it look like it had puppy dog eyes and to try to make it look less judgmental, which I don't think I did. I think it's still a pretty judgmental looking sea lion. But here is animal number 88, a sea lion giving us some pretty criminal side eye. I still think it looks cute, but it's definitely judging you, okay? It is. But now let's move on to the other side of this page spread and fill it out a little bit more with a simpler animal. Here we're going to be doing a sea urchin thanks to these comments. This one was either really hard or really easy, depending on how you guys think it turned out. If you think it turned out good, then it was really easy. But if you don't think it turned out good, then it was really hard, because I don't know how else I would have approached it. I just took some black and some pink and some white and made it look really spiky. That's pretty much it. It was a simpler animal. But now let's move over back to the other page spread and fill in another section. This one is going to be a swordfish, thanks to these comments. I think a swordfish is a pretty cool animal, although it makes me think of narwhals, and I'm just not sure how having a pointy thing on your face like that is actually convenient. Like, I'm not sure what swordfish or narwhals are doing out there with that, but it's just in my head like the equivalent of having a fork taped to my head. And how is that going to help me eat? How is that going to help me survive? I don't know. I don't understand really what they're doing. Like, are they just fighting with it for fun? Because, like, what if something actually got stuck on the top of your head? Then what would you do? But anyway, maybe those are inside thoughts that shouldn't be said outside. But now it's time to actually color it in. For this animal, I also stuck with the blue theme. Some of them I really wanted to make look like they were underwater and affected by the sunlight in the water. So for this one, I did a whole bunch of different shades of blue. But it's also fun to branch out and sometimes take some creative liberties, because I don't want all of the animals to look blue just because they're underwater. So in the past, I've done whales and dolphins that are purple or just kind of different colors to make them a little different from each other. But for this page, I'm trying to make sure that the underwater ones kind of look underwater so that they all go together. So I added in a whole bunch of different shades of blue and some details, and then I added in some white gel pen highlights to try and make it look a little bit wet and shimmery. And here's how this one turned out. I've also loved adding in shadows to the background to make them pop off of the page a little bit more. So I added in some gray shading to the back, and here's how animal number 90 turned out. Now it's time to do another one. For this animal, I'm doing a sea anemone thanks to these comments. Since Nemo and his dad live in one of these in the movies, I also thought I'd put it next to Nemo and Dory. This one was a little bit trickier to draw just because it has so many little, I mean, they're not tentacles, but like those coming out. So I wanted to make a whole bunch of them overlap. So what I did first was draw the outside of them, and then later I went ahead in and added in a whole bunch more. That way it really looked full. I decided to make it hot pink because there's not a lot of animals that are pink, so I gotta gotta take the chance while I can. I do think that'd be really cute though to do a full pink page spread of different pink animals. So if you can think of a pink animal, comment it down below so that maybe I can make a full page spread just of cute little pink animals. But here I am adding even more of these little wavy things so they can overlap and look a little more full. And then I colored those in hot pink just to make them look like they were in the background a little bit more. I felt like this helped to fill it out and was an effective way to do that, which I was really happy with because that's something that I'm still learning how to do. So that was fun. And then it was time to move on to the next thing. This actually isn't an animal. This is just me being absolutely silly. I felt like these fish looked like they were doing something, and I thought it'd be funny to make them look at a little worm on a hook. So that's what I did. This does not count as an animal. I've actually done a worm in the past, but this one is just for fun to make the fish look like they're doing something. But now it's time to move on to the next animal, which is a sand dollar, thanks to these comments. One of the comments called them a sea dollar, and I thought that was really cute. I don't know if that's legit or not, but I like that idea because a sand dollar is like when you see them on the sand and they're white and they're bleached, they're dead. They're no longer alive, okay? So that's sad. So I really like the idea of calling them sea dollars when they're in the ocean thriving. I just feel like that was a cute little flip on it. I don't know if that's legit or not, but I really liked that. I decided to make it purple because I looked up some inspiration photos of sand dollars and there were some purple ones. I also don't know if that's legit, but I liked the idea, so I went ahead and rolled with it. I made them purple because I thought that'd be cute and add a different color to the page. At this point, we have a lot of blues and not a lot of unique colors, so I'm trying to add in a little bit more pops of colors where I can. So I added in some texture with the white gel pen, made it look a little more sandy, and here's how this animal turned out. This is animal number 92. I'm only going to do 2 more. I want to fill in this page spread in the middle here, so let's see what we can come up with. For animal number 93, I'm going to be doing a manta ray thanks to these comments. Some comments were asking for a stingray and some were asking for a manta ray, and I know the difference is the stinger. However, they look very, very similar. So I thought for this one, maybe just use your imagination. If you want it to be a stingray, go ahead and think that. And if you want it to be a manta ray, that's okay too. I think that will be fun if it's a little bit of both because it's kind of hidden at the bottom. So we can just use our imagination. I added in little spots on this one, which I felt like was cute because it matched the whale shark. And now it's time for the final animal, which is a little bit unique and it's going to just be a little hint of it, but I'm going to do a mermaid tail thanks to these comments. When I was younger, I was obsessed with mermaids. I wanted them to be real so bad. I would stay up watching YouTube videos proving their existence with like the same fake mermaid picture like used over and over. But anyway, I loved mermaids. I still love them. I think they're such a fun idea. So I thought it'd be fun to just add a cute little sneaky mermaid tail as a nod to mermaids. Most of the animals that I do are real. I've done a dragon and I've done a unicorn kind of before, but I usually just stick to animals that we have pictures of and are real. So for this one, I just wanted to add a cute little nod because it's an ocean theme, so I had to include a mermaid. Here is our completed page spread. I want to try a couple more things. The first thing I did is went ahead and added shadows to all of the animals and made sure they each stood out with some gray in the background. And then I did something unique for the first time and I added in blue to try and give it a little bit of an underwater effect. And here's how it turned out. Let me know if you liked the little pops of blue that I added, but here's the left side of the page with all of our animals, and here is the right side of the page spread. I think they turned out so cool. We added in 9 different animals now. The first one was the whale shark, which we added in a lot of spots. It looks like the galaxy. It's really pretty. Next up was this anglerfish, which is really scary, and it's tormenting Nemo and Dory in the corner. Next up was our side-eye sea lion, who's a little bit judgmental, giving us a little sass. Next up was a simple sea urchin, which is cute, but was really easy to do. Animal 90 is a swordfish, which I looked it up. It looks like they just slap things with their sword. So it'd be like if I had a fork on my head and then I slap things with it. And then next up, Animal 91 is an anemone. I made it hot pink and put it next to Nemo and Dory. Next up was our purple sand dollar or sea dollar. Then we have our manta ray or stingray, whatever your heart desires. And finally, for animal number 94, we have a secret mermaid tail in the top. This page spread turned out to be so cool. I love how it's filled with different sea creatures, and I love some of the bright colors I was able to incorporate. Comment down below which animal from this page is your favorite. I think the crab really stands out to me. I just put a lot of detail into that one, so it's pretty cool to look at. Comment down below, though, which one was your favorite from this entire page, and which one was your favorite from the 9 we did today. Here's a look back at all of the page spreads that we've done so far. You can definitely tell that there's been improvement, not only in the animals themselves, but also in the composition. But here's a jellyfish from day 7 versus day 71, an octopus from day 2 versus day 74. Here's the difference between a snake from day 9 and a snake from day 52. And here's the difference between a whale from day 27 and a whale from day 69. You can definitely tell that these animals are getting better, which is really cool to have to look back on. I love doing this series with you guys. Thanks for commenting what animal I should draw. Comment down below what your favorite animal is and what animal I should draw next. Thanks so much for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!